Soy yo, Vicky, otra vez. I'm here again. And today's video, en el video de hoy, es número 9, number 9, en el serie de videos para practicar para un examen or to see whether your GCSE, how your level compares to GCSE level. What we're going to look at today in video 9 is the present tense. So we've nearly come to the end of this series. Thank you to those of you who have watched everyone. They'll all be in a playlist at the end. I know some of you haven't had time to watch all of them. When I've finished the videos, they'll all be in a playlist, so at any time you just want to check back in, check your level, etc., they'll just be there in a handy playlist, and every now and again I'll probably share it so that people can check. In the last video we did prepositions. How did you do? Let me know how you're doing. You know, do you know more than you thought you did? Is your level better than you thought it was? Is it worse? I mean, you know, I don't know. I also, there is a video that I did, which a lot of people have watched, and thank you if you've watched it, about how to get the best out of my channel, how the playlists work, where the videos are, how they link up with the books, etc. If you've got any queries about your level, you know, maybe you can't come to classes because you're not in this area, or maybe you don't want to do Zoom, or maybe you haven't got the time, or maybe it's the, you know, it costs money, obviously. So anything you want to know how you can get the best out of any of my resources, whether they're the books or the free, or the YouTube channel is completely free, you tell me what you're looking for and I will guide you in the right direction. Okay, so today we're going to look at the present tense. Oh, you're probably thinking, this is nice and easy. Well, do you know, it's funny because when I was preparing this video, I thought, you know, they're obviously for your GCSE, they expect you to know a lot of the irregular verbs, not just the regular verbs in the present tense. And it's funny how you can forget. You know, it depends how often you're using Spanish. If you're not in a situation where you're using Spanish every day, the present tense, even though you think you know it, and then you suddenly think, oh yeah, I've forgotten about that verb, that is irregular, you know, because you might never have used it for months. So it's always good, even if you're not thinking of doing a GCSE, and even if you're not really even thinking about testing your level, it's just good for practice. These are brilliant for practice, even for me. I mean, I do know them, obviously, but just bringing things back to mind. Okay, so it's quite long, this video, so you need paper and a pen, because you need to write down either the actual questions that you've got to translate, so it's the sentences you've got to translate, or you'll definitely need to write down the answers. So yeah, you need paper, piece of pen, a paper and a piece of pen. A piece of paper and a pen, or a pad and a pen, and if you haven't got them you can pause the video and go and get them, because I'm about to start now on the first section. I've divided it into a couple of sections because it's quite long, so just to warn you, it's probably going to end up being, I mean, not hours long, but you know, longer than 10 minutes anyway. Okay, so the first section, these are the sentences for you to translate. I will hold them up and read them at the same time. So you can take a photo of it or pause it and just to write them down. So number 1, I eat fish. Number 2, I watch the film while he looks for his book. Number 3, they live in the city and I live in the country. Number 4, I close the door. Number 5, he wakes me at 6. So that's a tricky one. He wakes me at 6. So yeah, there's some tricky ones in here. Number 6, they begin to study at 7. Number 7, we think that it is silly. And number 8, they sit down to eat. There's reflexive verbs in there as well. So, yeah, definitely they expect you to know reflexive verbs, irregular verbs, etc. So, there's your English. Pause the video. I'll try and cover my face so you don't have to pause. So you can write down the sentences. And now I'm going to show you the Spanish. Okay, now, you know, sometimes we don't always need to use the person, so remember that. In the first one, I've put the person in brackets, but I'm not going to do that in every one. Yo como pescado, but it could be just como pescado. Now, remember that pescado is fish that you eat. So if you've got pez is a fish that's alive and happy and swimming in the stream or in the river or in the sea. Pescado is the fish that you eat in a restaurant. Okay, so yo como pescado, that's a nice regular verb, comer. Number 2, we can either use, for I watch, you can either use miro or veo. La película, I watch the film, mientras él busca su libro, while he looks for. So remember, buscar is the verb to look for, not mirar, which is to look at. Vale, número 3. Viven en la ciudad, pero yo vivo en el campo. So they live, viven, that's your ending for they, pero vivo or yo vivo en el campo. Now, número 4, cerrar, to close, is a diphthong. Do you remember diphthongs? If you've done my course, you will have done quite a big section in diphthongs in level 1 of the Break the Language Barrier. Now, I haven't got one here handy. I'm going to put all these links in the description if you don't know about diphthongs, and you will find them in level 1 of Break the Language Barrier, level 1 of my books. If you don't have the book, you can order it on any Amazon website or here through me, through sending an email or the website. It'll be delivered to your door. It's €15. Okay, and you will find diphthongs in there. So this is a diphthong where the E changes to I. Cierra la puerta. Now then, number 5 is both a diphthong. It's not reflexive in this context, no, because it's he wakes me, not I wake myself. So another diphthong, despertar, to wake. Me despierta, me, he wakes. There's your pronoun as well, me. And they are in level 2 of Break the Language Barrier. Level 2 would be, if you want to brush up on your pronouns, that's where you should be looking for that. As I say, I'm going to put this, not only the links to the books, but also the videos that deal with these things in the description. Me despierta, this is an E changing to IE again, a las 6. So that is he wakes me. And in Spanish you say me, he wakes. Okay, número 6. Another diphthong, empezar. Empieza, E to IE, diphthong. Empieza a estudiar a las 7. So because we've conjugated the first verb, empieza, he begins, we don't conjugate the second verb, we use the infinitive, estudiar. Número 7. Now, número 7 is actually a diphthong also, pensar, to think. But remember, we don't use diphthongs for the we form or the use form. So first and second person plural, there is no diphthong. Did you remember that? So pensamos que es una tontería. And número 8, another diphthong and a reflexive verb. So this is the verb sentarse, to sit down. Reflexive verbs are in level 2 of the Break the Language Barrier series, and I will put the videos in the description box also. Se sientan para comer. So, flexive pronoun se, diphthong sientan. How did you do in that first section? Oh, I'm in a different pad now. Yeah, this is where I need an assistant, really, to remind me to change over pads or change over pages, etc. Okay, so let's have the English now in section 2. How did you do in section 1? I hope you did okay. So here are our English sentences for you to write down or pause the video, take a photo of, whichever way you like to do it. So number 9, it never snows in Spain. Number 10, I light the candle at 9. Number 11, we understand what they say. Number 12, they lose all the matches. Number 13, I want to go home. Number 14, I always have fun in Spain. Number 15, I prefer France. I certainly don't. I really don't like France. Number 16, I feel tired. Number 17, do you remember that day? And number 18, I tell the child a story. Lots of diphthongs there. So, obviously, if you're planning on doing a GCSE, they expect you to know your diphthongs because it's full of diphthongs. Let's see how you did. I'm about to show the Spanish now. So, nevar, to snow, a diphthong. E changing to IE. Nunca nieva en España. Número 2, encender, to light or to turn on. It means both those things. Another diphthong. E changing to IE. Enciendo la vela a las 9. Número 11. Another diphthong, actually, encender, but because it's the first person plural, we don't use the diphthong, doesn't apply to the first and second person plural. So it's entendemos lo que dice. Número 12. Perder, another diphthong, E changing to IE, to lose. Pierden todos los partidos. Número 13, querer, another diphthong. Quiero ir a casa. I want to go home. Número 14. Now, this is difficult because this is, see if you can see it okay, not only a diphthong but reflexive as well, a reflexive diphthong. So, siempre me divierto en España. So, the infinitive is divertirse, but it's a diphthong and it's reflexive. So, siempre me divierto en España. Número 15, number 15, another diphthong. Preferir is the verb, it's a diphthong, E changing to IE. So, prefiere Francia. Número 16, a diphthong and a reflexive verb, sentirse, very similar to sentarse that we had in the previous block. Sentarse, to sit, sentirse, to feel, both diphthongs, but one's an AR verb, one's an IR verb. Me siento cansado. Y número 17, a diphthong and a reflexive verb. Acordarse. This is a diphthong with the O changing to UE. Te acuerdas? Yeah, do you remember? You could also use recordar there. So if you have recuerdas, that's correct also. ¿Te acuerdas de aquel día? Now, you might have ese día, which is also okay. For that day, aquel would say a day further away in the past. So, ese día or aquel día are both okay. Y número 18, another diphthong, contar, to tell a story. Cuento la historia al niño. ¿Vale? So, although decir is to tell also, decir, you could say digo, that's a diphthong too, D-I-G-O, and a go-go verb. But cuento is better when you're talking about recounting or telling a story. How did you do? Okay, next block in English. So, 19. We find things under his bed. 20. They played tennis on Saturdays. 21. I fly to Spain tomorrow. 22. My arm hurts. 23. I know how to do it. So there's quite a few irregular verbs in here, so just to let you know. Number 24, it and diphthongs. It rains in winter. Number 25, we return tomorrow. 26, do you sleep well? Do you sleep until 6? Number 27, I am dying of hunger. Number 28, she says goodbye to her friends. Number 29, you ask for the bill. And number 30, they laugh. Okay, so yeah, take your photo, pause your video, and I'm coming back in a minute with the Spanish. Okay, so number 19, the verb to find is a diphthong, but again, first person plural, we, no diphthong. So, encontramos cosas debajo de su cama. They're obsessed with diphthongs, I think, in here. They obviously want you to know them well. Número 20, jugar, diphthong, O changing to UE. Juegan al tenis los sábados. 21, another diphthong, volver, O changing to UE. Not volver, volar, to fly, O changing to UE. Vuelo a España mañana. Now then, number 22. Did you get this correctly? Do you know that when we talk about something that hurts us in Spanish, if you say my arm hurts, you have to say my arm hurts me, but also you put the me first. So it's not reflexive, it's a pronoun, a personal pronoun. Me duele el brazo, and the verb doler to hurt is also a diphthong changing to UE. Me duele el brazo. So that is literally, to me, it hurts the arm. We don't personalize the parts of the body in Spanish. We don't say my arm, we say the arm. Número 23, sé hacerlo. So, sé is the first person singular of the verb saber. It's irregular in the first person. After that's a regular ER verb, but in the first person it's irregular. And this is knowing how to do things or knowing facts or information. So we would not use conocer here because that is to know people or places. So, sé hacerlo. So, I know is the conjugated verb, then we don't conjugate the second verb, and because we've got an infinitive, we can put our pronoun on the end. We could also say lo sé hacer, but we can't put the lo in the middle, so it's sé hacerlo or lo sé hacer, but to be honest, that sounds a bit funny. I think it sounds much better, sé hacerlo. Don't forget, pronouns are in Break the Language Barrier level 2. Okay, 24. Llueve en invierno. So, llover, to rain, another diphthong, O changing to UE. Número 25. Volvemos mañana. Volver, to return, is a diphthong, but because it's first person plural, we, the diphthong doesn't apply. Volvemos, not vuelvemos. Número 26, dormir, another diphthong, O changing to UE. Duermes hasta las 6. Número 27, to die is morirse, reflexive, and the O changes to UE, so it's me muero de hambre. Número 28, to say goodbye is despedirse, reflexive, and diphthong, E changing to I. So, se despide de sus amigos. So again, if you haven't got a clue what I'm talking about with diphthongs and E changing to I or O changing to UE, you need to check out that section of Break the Language Barrier Level 1 or watch one of the videos that I'll put in the description box. Y 29, another diphthong, one of the E changing to I diphthongs, pides la cuenta. And the last one, they laugh. To laugh is reírse, and it's another diphthong, so you would end up with se ríen. Yeah? How are you doing? I think we've got another couple of sections, yeah? Is this the last section, or have we got another one? Yeah, this is the last one. You'll be glad to know. How are you doing so far? Oh, I hope you're doing okay. Vale. These are the English then for the last section. I continue to get dressed. Now, number 32 is these are all irregular verbs in the first person, just to let you know. So you've got I do, I fall, I drive, I know, and this is no with conocer there, just to tell you that. I give, I offer, I put, I know, I leave, I bring, I see. Okay, these are all verbs that are a little bit irregular in some way or another in the first person. Number 33. I say that I am in the dining room. Number 34, he flees from danger. You may not know that verb to flee. I wouldn't say it's a very common verb that you exactly use every day. It's a funny little verb, but anyway, we'll see what you come up with. Number 35, 35, we go when we hear the noise. Numero 36, I am a member and I have a card. Numero 37, they come from Barcelona. Numero 38, I am eating the food while she is speaking. Okay. So there's your sentences to take your photo or pause your video or whatever you do to write them down or translate them. And let's see what we've got. Now, the first one, I continue. To continue is seguir. It's a diphthong. E changing to I. Again, going back to that diphthong section. And then getting dressed, vestirse, is to get dressed. And this time they've wanted it in the present progressive, like the ing, vistiéndome. Now, when you're using an ing word in Spanish, you can put the pronoun on the end. You could also say, me sigo vistiendo, but it sounds better like this, sigo vistiéndome. 32. So we've got all these verbs in the first person are irregular in some way or another. Hago, yeah, go-go verb. Me caigo, again, a go-go verb, but also reflexive, so that's why the me is in the front of it, from caerse. Hago is from hacer. So to drive is conducir, first person of conducir is conduzco with ZC, irregular in the first person. After that it's a regular ER verb. Se, yeah, that's one way of saying to know. Doy, I was looking at it, what the hell does that say? Sorry. Doy is the first person of dar, it's irregular in the first person. Ofresco, the first person of ofrecer, again irregular, just in the first person. Pongo, go-go verb from poner. Conozco, that's the other verb, to know. Salgo, go-go verb from salir. Traigo, from traer, a go-go verb. And veil, which is from the verb to see, is only irregular because you don't take off the E and the R to end up with vo. You leave on the E, so you end up with veil. Okay, número 33, digo, I say, from decir, another go-go verb and a diphthong, the E changing to I. Digo que estoy en el comedor. Número 34, hue, really strange verb this, huir is the verb to flee or run away, and it changes to a Y. Hue del peligro. I wouldn't worry about that verb too much. I don't think it's a very common verb, but obviously if you're going to do a GCSE, they obviously expect you to know it for whatever reason. Y número 35, nos vamos, we go, they're using it reflexively there, from irse. Nos vamos cuando oímos el ruido. And número 36, soy socio. Now you might have miembro, that is a member as well. So soy socio or soy miembro y tengo una tarjeta. So soy, of course, is from that old chestnut say that we have to know say. Lots of videos on my channel about say, but the present tense one I will put in the description box as well. And 37, venir is the verb to come. It's a diphthong changing to IE. It's also a go-go verb in the first person, vengo, which is in the go-go verbs section of my, that is in Break the Language Barrier Level 1. You'll find all the go-go verbs, a few of which that have come up here. Salgo, hago, traigo, etc., tengo, vengo. So that will be in level 1 as well. And the last one, 34, estoy comiendo la comida, I am eating the food, mientras ella está hablando, while she is talking. Okay, so that's it. that's the end of the practice of the present tense. The sort of level that they expect you to know to pass your GCSE in Spanish, if you decide that you want to take one, or maybe just for your own information so you know what your level is. The next video on that will be, we start to go into past tenses. It'll be the present perfect, the have done tense that we'll be looking at next. Vale, well, I hope you're finding these videos useful. If so, por favor, dame pulgadas arriba. Please give me thumbs up. Y subscribir. That is a free way. You can really help me out with my channel. You can also buy me a coffee if you want to make a little contribution to the making of my channel, which is free, of course, or my whole channel is free, but you can buy me a coffee if you want to, not necessary. Yeah, está. So don't forget the books. If you're interested in buying any of the books, all the links are in the description. You can always contact me if you want to buy books. They're 15 euros each through me, and on Amazon they sort of vary slightly because Amazon sort of, I say what price they should be, and then they basically put whatever price they don't, but it's never an exact sort of 15 euros on Amazon for some reason. But yeah, you can order it through me and have it delivered directly to your door, free of charge, or from Amazon with whatever Amazon sort of facility you have. Maybe to have them delivered free, obviously you have to have Prime, Amazon Prime. But if you order them through me, they will be delivered free through my account, if you like. Okay, ya está. So, que tu Dios vaya contigo y te veo en el próximo video. Muchas gracias y adiós.